What is going on, guys? The Inside Blue Podcast, episode 70. And today, breaking down the Giants preview against the New Orleans Saints. This is a big matchup for both teams. Both teams trying to, make an attempt to have a late playoff push here. And, it's going to be a good game, I feel like. Last time these two teams met, I'm pretty sure the game went to overtime and the Giants ended up scooping that victory. But now, Tommy DeVito's your QB. Not Daniel Jones right now. Of course, Daniel Jones out for the year. We already know that. That's been way past, but it's Tommy DeVito now. This has been Tommy DeVito's team now, and he's made a pretty good impression to the NFL, and I think this is a huge matchup for, him and for the Giants because their season is on the line. They have to win out in order to make the playoffs, and you look at their schedule right now. They take on the Saints now, and they take on the Eagles, and then the Rams, and then the Eagles. I'm pretty sure that's how the schedule goes. And we know the Eagles are no joke, especially when they play at home at Lincoln Financial. Giants have struggled for a long time to get a victory at Lincoln Financial. It's not an easy place to play out. And the Eagles, they're still a very good team, even though they're not as strong as they were last year, in my opinion. I think that's still a very good football team. I think, Jalen Hurts is still their QB. Nick Sirianni's their QB. They're a good team, man. But, the Giants are making a late push, and it'll be interesting, if they don't make the playoffs, and we look back and we see it, this team was there really a point of winning these games late in the season if all it meant is no playoffs? And listen, that's definitely a possibility for this team because they can very well lose a game against the Eagles. I think we know that. I think fans know that. I know that. Eagles are no joke, and to sweep the Eagles is pretty hard to do. You don't see teams go into Philly and then go back to your own house and beat up the Eagles because the Eagles are a very talented team. But it'll definitely be an interesting game. But, we talk about the Saints. We're focused on the Saints right now, hoping to go 6-8 and improve, with another victory. Right now, the Giants are, at a decent draft position right now. They're picking at number 8 overall. And, I know the big question is if you keep winning games, you're only going to go down in the draft order. And is that what's best for this team? I mean, listen, the draft is the draft. We've seen really good players not come out of the first round. We've seen them come out of the second round or the third round. Listen, but I will say this, though. There are some big-time players in that first round that can make an immediate impact. Joe Alt would be an amazing addition to this Giants offensive line. That is ranked the worst team in pass blocking rating per PFF. And I am just honestly, for me, I'm tired of seeing Mike Golinsky and Tyree Phillips and Evan Neal and, just the offensive line being bad because they're bad. I will admit, aside from Andrew Thomas, who is a franchise All-Pro, tackle, it's pretty bad. He's the only guy I can rely on to not allow a QB to get a sack. But last week they held the Packers to no sacks, which was a huge improvement after I believe they gave up 6 the week before. So, I mean, a big thing about this game is not allow a lot of sacks against the Saints defense. Saints defense, I don't think they're a bad defense at all. I think, they can definitely shut down the Giants very easily if you don't move the ball downfield. And, definitely get Saquon going early and often. This guy's, got to get early and often, giving him the ball, feeding that man. He needs to get the ball early and often. And I think, another big thing for this Giants team is Darren Waller's back. So that's nice to see. Now I don't have to see Mark Golinsky play blocking tight end. I get to see Daniel Bellinger play his normal role, right? But yeah, Mark Golinsky is definitely not good. But we're not, going to go slander Mark Golinsky because, it's his job to be a blocking tight end because the Giants have yet to, sign one because, we don't need one, right? That's interesting to me. But yeah, big game against the Saints. They got some good players. Alvin Kamara, of course, is their running back. He ever since he came off that 3-game suspension, I think he's been really good for fantasy, really good just in general. He's a good player, man. He's a really good player when healthy. They have some weapons. They got Chris Olave. Michael Thomas is, of course, hurt. But I think this Giants offense is playing. The Giants offense is playing well under Tommy DeVito, which is, quite a surprise in my opinion. It's crazy how Brian Daboll just takes these QBs and has them play well. I think that's something that people don't talk about with Brian Daboll enough. He made Daniel Jones look pretty good last year and got him $40 million a year. Tyrod had some pretty good games this year, and now it's Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito is now playing very well, and big future with Daniel Jones. What do we do with Daniel Jones now if Tommy DeVito is saucing up the Green Bay defense, and maybe he just slings it against the Saints defense, right? But I think this is a Giants team that can very well beat the Saints. I look at this Saints team, and I think it's a winnable game. Even though it's hard to play in New Orleans, it's a winnable game. And I think it's one of the games left of your schedule that, a high chance of winning. I think that in the Rams game, and maybe Week 18 if the Eagles decide to be nice to us and not start any of the players. But, who knows about that, because, the Eagles hate the Giants, and they've, kind of screwed the Giants over in many occasions, getting Devontae Smith instead of the Giants. They drafted Jalen Carter after the Seahawks decided not to take him. Devin Witherspoon is still a great player, but that's for another story. And, with this Giants defense, there's a lot to look at, right? How is Deonte Banks going to, play after a 12 tackle game? That's insane to me. I think, Deonte Banks is slowly, trending to that cornerback number 1, and that's something the Giants have kind of looked for a few years now, because Adoree Jackson is not it. He gets cooked way too often, and maybe Deonte Banks is that guy that the Giants can really rely on against the top wide receivers in the league. But, the thing with, with a banged up Saints O-line, I think, they're one of their top O-linemen are going to be out, which is good. Obviously, I never pray on anyone's injuries, but that's a good sign for the Giants, because it means a big game from Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeaux, and maybe Azeez Ojulari. I think, Azeez, when healthy, has looked good, and that's a good sign, because I need him to play good, because, the Giants just need players to stay healthy if they want to go 9-8. It's not going to be easy at all to sweep the Philadelphia Eagles, not Phillies. But hey, man, it's exciting, but it's not going to be exciting if the Giants decide to lose, because then the season's over. Really, they'll finish under 500, and that probably one of the bigger collapses. You win a playoff game, and you make the playoffs in general. Things are going great, high expectations, and then you just miss the playoffs, and you're back to square one, taking the top 10 pick. Of course, another thing is mock draft coming out as well with this video. Going to have 2 episodes on that, so that'll be cool. I think you guys love the mock drafts. I've seen very good feedback from the mock drafts, and this is going to be an interesting one, picking at pick 8 now. So, who knows? Maybe Joe Alt and Rashawn are gone, and, Giants may take, Jaden Daniels or Malik Neighbors if he's even there, or, another, top offensive lineman like Troy Bertanu. I know he's a big guy that, his name is floated around a lot. I don't think, he's going to get to the second round. I really don't. I think he's one of the better offensive linemen in this draft class that you could very argue that he could be a one of the top picks in this first round. But, I don't know if he's going to go top 10. but I think he's definitely going to be on the radar to be a first round pick because I think he's very good at Washington, right? That's where he is. Pretty sure he's at Washington, or he's somewhere that he's very good. But you know, yeah, I mean, another thing is with this team, right? Is sorry about that, guys. Sorry, I had to fix my mic. Not don't want you guys, just not hearing me. My bad on that. But I think another thing with this Giants team is, we're going to see more trickery with this team. We saw Wildcat the previous game with, a handoff to Wando Robinson. And, I think Wando is finally trying to, prove his value. I think he's got a lot of value. I know the pick, they picked him over Puka Nacua, but hey, I don't really like when I see fans and stuff say that because who knows if Puka was going to be the same player he was at the Giants. They have Matt Stafford throwing him the ball. Matt Stafford tends to elevate his wide receivers. To put two and two together, I don't know if he's going to be that type of player here at the East Rutherford New York Giants. But, I think, a big question, and I have a question for you guys, is will Wando Robinson finish with over 45 receiving yards? I know would love to hear your guys' feedback on that. If Wando's going to finish with over 45 receiving yards, because I think he's going to have another big game. I really do. I feel like him and Jalen Hyatt, I think these guys are going to start really cooking up teams' defenses now because I think those are two of your better wide receivers. I haven't seen much out of Sterling Shepard. Paris Campbell was a healthy scratch in the previous game. I mean, play Jalen Hyatt. This guy's good, man. And I'm tired of seeing him get minimal reps and his only routes are streaks and fades. Give this guy the ball on drag routes or slants, man. This guy can run. This guy can run. I'm tired of people saying, oh, this guy is nothing. This guy is none. He is not just a deep threat. This guy is not just a deep threat wide receiver. This guy provides a lot of value to this team. I am telling you, this guy is real good. He did it against Bama. And I know college football is a lot different than, the NFL. But he is a good wide receiver, in my opinion. Of course, a lot of things have to happen for this Giants team to make the playoffs. And, I'll tell you right now. So the Giants, of course, have to win out, go 9-8. So the Giants would make the playoffs at 9-8. And this is what also has to happen. So the Packers have to lose at least once. The Seahawks have to lose 2 out of their next 4 games remaining. The Rams have to lose to the Giants. Saints have to lose 2 out of 4. And the Falcons have to lose at least one game. They just have to lose one game out of their next 4. So a lot has to happen for the Giants to make the playoffs. They have to sweep the Eagles, which is not easy to do. And I don't know if the Giants are even going to do that. So anyways, so we look at this team and we look at the Eagles. Eagles are, of course, the much better football team. But, we've seen crazier things in football, right? Tommy DeVito. Is he the franchise QB now? Or is it Daniel Jones? That's another question for you guys to answer. Because I love your guys' support, man. I really do. You guys have been killing it on the channel. We're at 76 subscribers now. Trying to get to 100 before the end of the year. It's the 17th of the day I'm recording this. So, we got a few more weeks. And then, we set a new goal, basically. Of course, 100 subs right now is the goal right now. But, I appreciate you guys' support. Liking the videos, commenting, Soon I'm going to be going live for some games, whether it's the Rangers who have been killing it, of course. Maybe the Yankee games, tons of stuff coming out. Mock drafts, Yankee content, a lot of stuff is going to be coming out soon. So definitely tune into those because those videos are going to be awesome. I already know it. I already know we're going to kill this mock draft at pick number 8. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys all for liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Tell your friends about this channel. Inside the Boot Podcast. Who doesn't want to listen to some Giants content, some Yankees content, and even some Rangers content? We haven't broken down that team enough. Of course, gonna get some Rangers content out there. We're gonna keep going, man. This is a grind, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video, which is gonna be a mock draft. Peace.